Did you guys know how big the fucking US government is? It's like, I think it's the biggest employer in the state of California is the government. Not just the US government, but even the state governments. Government is fucking huge as it stands. So people are really accustomed to how that whole fucking thing works already, and they want nothing to do with it. And they're not wrong for not wanting anything to do with it, because they're right. People need breathing room. The Soviet Union did have that in the form of the kolkhozes, which were not state-owned. They were collectively owned, yeah, but they were not state-owned. And then it just deepened after the kolkhozes, right? To the point where we get Deng Xiaoping. You know, people need to rethink the whole, what they understand what communism is in the first place. If you think it's just the government, it's just expanded to a wildly huge degree, you're not going to get anywhere in this fucking country. Because why would, I mean, even I object to that. I don't want to fucking, even I don't fucking want that, At the same time, there is a thing about corporations and that whole thing. And so that could be talked about, right? But there needs to be breathing room. Look, Marx didn't say we're going to fucking have the government own everything. When it comes to the ends of communism, it's free association. And it's the withering away of the state. That is like the principle that communists have. Like, in principle, communists are pro-small government. If you read Lenin's book, The State and Revolution, he makes it very clear that even a proletarian dictatorship should be small and simple. Now, small doesn't mean it's not powerful, and it doesn't mean it's not strong, and it doesn't mean it can't do big things. But it means that the extent to which it's instantiated does not interfere in the daily lives of people. It doesn't interfere in people's lives. It rather facilitates, protects, and promotes people's ways of life, rather than interfering in them and meddling in them. So if you read Lenin's State and Revolution, there's a huge disdain for the view that the state should meddle in the affairs of people. There's a huge disdain for that. And that's always been the communist attitude. That was the Stalinist attitude as well. Stalin thought the party had grown too large and they were a bunch of good-for-nothings, and that the Soviet state should be more democratized, meaning simplified, and the bureaucracy should be eliminated. That was the goal. Now, why didn't that actually fucking happen? It's the legacy of social democracy and the remnants of that institutional social democracy, which, by the way, is everything people hate about socialism. So communism with a capital C, in a way, is libertarian. In a way, Stalin was libertarian. China is more libertarian than Sweden, okay? Because the whole thing with communism is it's like you have a very strong and powerful proletarian dictatorship that doesn't interfere in people's daily lives, but just facilitates it. So the strength of the state is usually in proportion to the extent to which the country is under attack. So let's say, for example, in my beautiful home state of Michigan, that the militias rose up and seceded from America and formed a 1776 liberty state, small government. Well, it's going to have to be a very strong and powerful state if it's going to defend itself against, its foreign adversaries that are going to try to destroy it in every possible way. And yeah, that's going to extend to the problem of espionage and the problem of infiltration and all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't mean they're going to compromise on their principles, because at the end of the day, see, I think this is a funny contrast between communist states usually and liberal states. So in communist states, it doesn't matter how big the government gets. When faced with the ability to meddle or not meddle, what I mean by that is, like, when there's no reason to meddle, they just let people be. Just live your fucking life. And then that there's like this organic culture and community that emerges, and the state just does not meddle in their daily affairs. It just lets them breathe. But in liberal states like America, don't you ever notice how the government and the bureaucracy just goes out of its fucking way to try and meddle in your fucking life in every time they're faced with a choice? Meddle in people's lives and fuck with them, or like leave them alone and focus on what's important and just, do your fucking job. They'll always choose to meddle in your fucking life. They hate seeing people fucking breathe and just prosper and just live. They fucking hate that for some reason. And, they want to make sure that everyone is always, all the time, under the boot. And that especially became a reality in America when the federal agencies became so powerful. You had the ATF, you had the FBI, of course. The FBI is a known one, but the ATF, because that's how it fucking is, right? Now, people don't know this, but a CIA memo has confirmed it from, I think, 51 or 52, which said there's a widespread conception that Stalin rules as a one-man dictatorship, and it's not true. He has to follow the procedures as well. He's not a dictator. He wasn't a dictator. So Stalin was in a tough spot, right? The only tool Stalin had of fighting the party bureaucracy were two things: purges, and those got out of control. The 36 purge got out of fucking control. The Yezhovchina got out of fucking control, right? So the purges was one tool. And the only way that purges were possible is because A, you have a mandate of popular support, and B, you're maneuvering the echelons of the bureaucracy, turning one department against another department, and it's just chaos, right? The other tool Stalin had in his arsenal was something that was perfected by Mao during the Cultural Revolution, was basically campaigns. So Stalin would launch a campaign, or he would inspire a campaign, like the Stakhanovite campaign, and it would create this grassroots pressure on the party bureaucracy from below. So Stalin up top and the people down below. But that bureaucracy was a really fucking big monster, and Stalin could not control it. And I think if you talk to MAGA people about that, just in terms of like what they already can see with Trump, they see how that works. Yeah, there's a strong leader, Trump, who's fighting the deep state, that's getting in the fucking way. That dynamic existed with both Stalin and Mao, if you can believe it. It was the exact same type of dynamic.